So again, at this point, you all have basically um, found this haunt of this ancient treasure. You have found the hill where you expect to find the actual tomb itself. You have spent some time seeing it as, say, like almost like 200 by 300 meters. Looks like a skull from overhead, assuming, basically, let's pretend, or somebody does have the ability to fly overhead, and you see these massive black stones that create the eyes and the nose. And this cliff face where you are currently facing. Ooh, that sounds like it might have been a Kruger.
I think so. I got it.
Excellent, very nice. Um, so I think you are probably a moment behind in that there are characters in that D&D Beyond link. You can basically just pick one of them and take it as yours. And that's kind of how we're playing forward here. It's just going to be a mess of challenging you all as players and you all as actual people far more than the actual characters. So you can just kind of pick and choose at present, and we'll kind of leave it open as far as things go. But at this point, along that northern cliff face, we're just going to jump in at the idea that you all have spent the last hour or so kind of poking and prodding at this with like staves or poles to find that there are three different points where you can potentially enter into this area. And you all should be able to see those basically as the gaps where the sand and brush kind of is not at present. And other than that, we'll kind of jump in and allow you all to start to do what you would like to do.
So do these entrances look like doors or just kind of gaps in the mountain or
Effectively, what it is like when you stab in with a pole, um, there's nothing behind kind of situation. So it all still looks like the same cliff face. These areas you can basically feel out that there is no like rock behind. So it's like you could take some time to clear the actual entrance, or you can kind of just like almost shimmy yourself through.
got it. Okay.
Do they all look identical?
Everything looks natural, so I would say there's no identical thought.
Well, I'd say go right down the middle.
The
All right.
choice is any.
I'm right behind you.
I'm following.
All right, so Chrysira will kind of try to push her way through this sort of gap in the middle here at the northern cliff face.
So you start to clear those spaces. You're going to start to see like bright colors inside of the actual cliff face. As you move things aside, there seems to be a stone mosaic to the tiles of the floor, kind of like a bunch of rather uniform, but still kind of hand carved look to just hundreds, at very first, hundreds of these like kind of two by two square tiles, many different kind of ochres, oranges, reds. You do notice that there are some that are green and some that are yellow as well. and these mosaic stones just kind of wind off out of your view and into the darkness ahead, as well as you'll see that there's different symbols and kind of drawings on the initial walls of this corridor.
All right. From before stepping inside, we'll have to step inside to be able to try and make out anything that's on the walls. Get a closer look at the drawings and such.
You could see just in like the first little area that just kind of like looking around with a torch. There's large panels that are kind of set across the ceiling as well as many of the walls. Part of the wall actually kind of like juts out almost in a bit of a buttress, so the ceiling is almost domed. It still has square-like characteristics to it. So like there's the wall that say goes up like 6 feet, and then some of the stonework comes out like a foot or so, and then it goes back up vertically unto like the top is about like 8 feet wide. So it's like a squared off arch, and you see across all of these different surfaces over most of the area, you're seeing very similar skull motifs across all of these different surfaces. So, like on the little parts that jut out from the wall, it's a very similar kind of horrific skull and swirls that shows there's plenty of signs of like spider webs and this place having been untouched for quite some time. But at present, most of the walls that you're going to see are effectively that same thing, and you would see kind of the first sight that tells you that maybe deeper in there's things that are not these skulls, but you would have to go in further to be able to figure out what else is on the walls.
Well, this place looks welcoming. Should we head in?
Perhaps I can send a torchbearer ahead. Give us some light.
Not a bad idea at all.
So,
Let me take a closer look at those walls. As my character kind of moves out and I want to do an investigation.
So wait, I've got two different things going on here. Somebody's about to cast light inside of there, and you're going to walk inside.
I can wait if you want to investigate the wall. I want to summon a fey creature, then light a torch and give it to them and send them in.
Yeah, I can wait for that. And after they go in, I'll take a look at the walls and do an investigation.
So yeah, I conjure a mirthful fey, I guess. And it appears before me. It's like, I don't know, like a brownie, let's say, a little like pointy eared. Summon fey. Did it show up in the chat on Roll20?
Yeah, I see it now. Oh, it's just the Fey spirit. I got you. All right. So you are going to hand that a torch, and it's going
Yeah.
to. How far are you sending it in?
I guess I'll send it in 10 feet, just to there.
So as it moves about 10 feet inside of the room, you're going to see that many of the mosaics continue on.
Is that the Fae there, or is that something that just appeared?
Yeah, I don't have a generic Fey token just prepared right now. So
Yeah, no, that's
would be your
fine.
token.
Yeah. Would you be? Am I able to control it, or would you prefer I instruct you?
I think if you give me a moment, I can give you control. That's Mike talking, right? I'm not quite used to your voice.
Yes, this is Mike talking.
Gotcha. So you should have access to it now, and be able to move it. But as you all see, the Fae kind of lights up the room, and it continues on again into darkness. At this point, you all are going to, and because I used up all of my memory today, uploading all of the maps here, I'm going to drop this in Discord. You're going to see as like the walls kind of open up and you start to see these creatures like holding a treasure chest in front of this door, jail cell door along the wall, and just into the darkness you see the spider webs, the cobwebs, and just the dust of time just kind of extends down into this corridor. But that would be among the first things that you're going to see. And that one in particular is still within kind of the dim light, just beyond like the bright light that the Fae is casting.
Is this enough light for you to investigate? Or shall I send the creature further down?
No, let's do it here, and I'm going to move in and investigate.
So, where are you moving to, and what are you investigating?
So I guess the first thing I want to investigate is the floor because it seems to have some sort of colors that are moving through.
All right, yeah. So you see that there's a mosaic between this on this floor. There's red, yellow, and green stones. Among like most of them are kind of like an ochre brown and orange. Before I have you roll for anything, like what else are you looking for?
I want to take a quick look at that chest that's in between the two creatures, and move cautiously so I can do an investigation on it. I don't want to open it or touch it. Just come in and said, "This is interesting."
So right now that is like to the southwest of you, along the wall just beyond the light of the Fey creature. So if you have it move in a little bit further, you'll be able to see that in more proper lighting.
I yell out to the creature, "Move, creature, further down. Let me see what's on this hall."
The creature complies and takes 2 steps forward.
The Crusader is going to start moving into this point, trying to kind of pay attention to where the people before him have stepped, so he can essentially follow their steps. I don't know why I'm keep locking to the center of the grid, the squares, but
I didn't pay close attention to how the map lined up, but those grids are from the actual map. They might not actually be where the grid lined up across this whole map.
oh, okay, no worries.
Can I investigate the walls? Just touching for any loose tiles or any potential traps.
Along the walls, what are you looking for? What are you touching?
Just touching the walls to try and see if there are any loose tiles or anything that.
But like, where are you touching? There's a whole lot of walls around you, and it would take you about an hour to do so. Everything is going to matter in very tiny detail as you guys go through this place.
I guess I will around the chest.
So I feel like Kruger and you would be in that same area. It's that southwestern corner of where it's illuminated and where that green light is starting to, or the green tiles of the floor are starting to move towards the wall. That's where you would see that those two dog figures, and they're holding the chest up above, like at waist high. And that is essentially where the chest is kind of coming out of that wall. So the two of you can do an investigation. So if you're both looking at the chest, you're both walking up to like that area.
Right. As I walk up, I look at it and I go, "Don't touch it!" And I start looking like underneath it, right, kind of propping myself up, and it's a 12, so I don't think that's any real good. But let me start here at the bottom, and I start reading the bottom part.
Yeah, I just start touching like around the sides and above it. I don't want to touch the actual chest.
Gotcha. So as the two of you begin to move up and check this area, you are going to start to approach the chest. And as you kind of get to each side of it, the floor is going to drop out below you, and the two of you are going to plunge into a pit. 10 feet deep, you're each going to take 1 bludgeoning damage.
As we land, go, "Oh, didn't see that coming." He goes, "When I see if in my turn, I'd like to try to scale right up and get right back." There was this place is more. There are more traps and dangers here than we thought.
As Cressira sees them fall, he'll move forward, getting a rope ready to help pull them out if they need it.
Can I use my slow fall to reduce that damage?
I can do that, but I can also look at the trap correctly, and you guys take different damage. So take the 1 for now, and you can reduce the slow fall for the future. Because technically these are spiked traps, and they do a lot more damage. Like 15.
Yeah, I'm happy with the 1. As it falls into this little mud pit.
So you each can try to climb out of there. It is a pretty simple process, but if you just do a strength check, it is a pretty low DC for you all to be able to get out of there, and overall just kind of requires just that little bit of time for you. Although apparently a little bit more difficult than you're ready for. So Kruger can get out. Sato's incapable of making out. No real detriment for it at present. So we'll just assume on the second one you are successful.
Too good to be true, I guess.
So before it fell out, though, I think Sato would have been able to pick up that there is indeed some sort of a hinge on the bottom of the chest. You just can't really step on that area at present.
So we can't reach the chest right now?
There's a lot of ways that you could potentially reach it. What are you looking to do?
Well, if the group will give me 10 minutes, I could put a tensor's floating disc above the pit that we could stand on.
Man, I miss having my cheat sheet of people's passive perceptions. Let me actually get everybody's passive perception real quick. So, yeah, actually, we should also change your nicknames to your character as well. So Justin's 13, and he is. What's your character name, Justin? Actually, you know what? I don't think we should. I feel like your characters are gonna be too confusing regardless. Let's stick with normal names right now.
It's Chrisira, but yeah.
Justin 13, Thomas 12. What do we got from the other two right now? Will, if you're still hanging out here, just drop your token and join this.
Got 12 also.
I'm at 10.
It won't let me drop the token because I'm not in the character list.
Oh, shit. My bad. I misclicked whose journal it was in, and I clicked my own name, so you couldn't see it. My bad. If you don't have a circular token, just run it through that token generator that's just a little bit above that picture. All right, so I feel like I missed, what is that, Mike? What was your passive perception?
It's a 10.
And Will, what's the passive perception for your character? 12?
12.
So we got 3 12s. Y'all got some low passive perception for this one. Yeah, so looking around, I feel like the two who fell into it would be able to see that the floor actually hinged down. Everybody, I don't know. Yeah, you guys, the thief. You all would know pretty seamlessly that Justin would be able to use the thieves kit and take a few moments to wedge that shut.
Greg goes, thief, come and fix this. It's obviously something that we need to look at this chest.
So as everybody's
So
moving in,
he'll step up and, what do you need?
Goes, make sure this thing doesn't work anymore. This trap is annoying. Got to get to that chest. There's something evil lurking behind it, I'm sure.
you could use like a python or like a dagger to basically wedge it shut. But as you all kind of move in, more of these frescoes are just pictures of different beasts kind of grazing in pasture, and just like a lot of kind of creepy human amalgamations. They're not all this like dog human. Some of them are different creatures like pigs. Others are kind of like bird-like, very strange human mixtures.
Yes, I'll try and take a python and try and get the wedge the trap shut so we can try and get to that chest.
So once you get that set, you feel pretty comfortable that you can get to the chest and won't lose the floor beneath you. And you all kind of can look over it, see a little bit more thoroughly. Yeah, let me get. I feel like a wisdom investigation from Justin there?
Did you want it specifically wisdom investigation or intelligence investigation? Because my wisdom's a little bit higher than my int, so it's another +2, I guess.
Another +2. Word. Yeah. So as you are looking over that hinged bottom, you can see that if the lid is manipulated of the chest, the bottom is hinged in a way that is basically going to kind of catch the lid and release another trap from within the chest.
Looks like this pit's not at all is protecting this thing. Need to be very, very careful. I can
So,
see if I think I might be able to disarm it.
yeah, if you do a Thieves' Tools dexterity check, let me see that roll. And then I know at least Justin has night vision. What's the night vision on everybody here?
Sator has 60 feet.
I have none.
Yeah, so you're able to take that needle out of the trap and basically disarm the trap that's kind of within this chest. And I think about this point, you guys are starting to see signs from the darkness of where this corridor ends. I think it's right about the 60-foot area to the south of you.
I'm going to suggest maybe the others take a step back just in case I missed something and tell them I'm going to try to open this chest here.
As you open the chest, it appears to be empty.
Now, is this chest something that can be taken out from the wall, or is it like firmly kind of connected there, like within the wall, like set within?
Do you want to try to lift it?
Maybe first I'm going to sort of very carefully reach my hand in and see if, like, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of weird invisibility spell or something, and see if I feel anything inside the chest, even though it looks like it's empty.
You start to move your hand around inside, and you do feel that there's a handle inside. Basically, start to feel like a rod about like 6 inches from the bottom of the chest. It's in the center of it, and it's about like 4 inches side to side.
Okay, I'm going to pull it out of the chest if I can.
It doesn't budge.
Can I maneuver it like downwards or to the side?
When you start to try to move it around, you eventually can basically gather that you can only really pull it towards yourself, and you feel resistance as you're even trying to manipulate it in that direction.
So I'll kind of relay all this back to the others and kind of ask for suggestions at this point.
The dwarf says, how about a hard smack at it? Just break it open. As they the dwarf just starts to move closer and starts getting out his battle axe.
Can we see what the chest is made of? Is it metal or wood mostly?
From this close, kind of like starting to manipulate, you're seeing more and more signs that it's made out of a metal. It looks a lot like a copper. With a closer inspection, you could figure out it's bronze. Roll a perception check, though, for me with Chrisia. The harder that you pull against that, the more you feel the floor beneath your feet starting to move. You're pretty sure that lever is actually again attached to the trap in the floor below you.
Okay, so once upon sensing that, I will stop. I will let go of the rod. And seeing the dwarf coming with his axe, I'm going to move to step backwards and just again relay kind of what I felt like. I think if I don't know, if I pull this lever or this rod, it's, I don't know, something's going to happen. It seems to be I don't know, tied to some sort of mechanism maybe.
The dwarf looks over and says, "Yeah, let's spring it." As he kind of moves to the side and tries to, is going to try a hard crack at the box with his battle axe.
You can roll an attack at it. To everyone else doing this, our dwarf is opening up the bronze chest with the dwarven key.
Just waiting to see what happens.
So as you give it a swing, you just kind of nick right off of like one of the front facings where the chest is slanted, and it's just enough that the axe is kind of twisted away from the chest and kind of connects into the base that's holding the chest up and on the wall, but effectively no damage to the chest.
Feels as though this may be a decoy. Shall we press on?
Yes, there's nothing to see here and nothing to really smack. So let's press on and move. What is that other door or thing at the other side?
Looks like perhaps a prison cell.
Yeah, so like the wall just to the south of that area, you just see hands holding it up against the metal of the cell, and almost as if they are shaking the door. And then that door is barred with a wood log across two hooks, so it can't be manipulated.
Is there someone in there?
From where you're at right now, you just see the hands. If you go closer, you're just going to start to notice that's just another one of the frescoes.
So it's just a painting of a jail cell, not a physical one.
Correct.
Shall I send the torchbearer further down so we can have a look?
Yes, let's go.
So,
So where's the? Is it here, where I'm pinging, or is it over here? That fresco with that jail cell.
Jail cell is southwest of you there. Let's see, I think it's going to be Justin and Kruger are going to fall into another pit trap as they walk forward, and the floor is going to drop below you.
Oh shoot!
Both of you are going to take 5 piercing damage, and let me get a Constitution saving throw from you.
Crap.
So, Chrisia, you're going to take 28, and Kruger, you're going to take 14 poison. Well, actually, you're going to take 7 poison damage as a dwarf.
Shoot.
is my
poison? What's your question?
is my Fae not triggering these pits as it walks over them?
As far as I see, when it's a Fey spirit to me, that thing doesn't have like a weight or a existence to me.
Okay.
That to me is kind of like you are summoning a ghost.
Can I climb out?
Yeah, it's the same type of thing. It's another like 10-foot pit that you fall into with spikes. Once you're inside of it, it's just a strength check for you to get out.
He goes, "This is perfect. Another pit, another trap." As I start moving from now on, I want to hit the bottom of each one of the areas with my warhammer. Can I? Every time I move, I'll hit it each row.
And then after climbing out, I'd like to kind of investigate the floor where now I know the pit is, and see if I can notice any sort of subtle differences between that and maybe some of the flooring that didn't seem to be trapped. Or anything. I'm essentially looking for something that we can keep an eye out for that might warn us in the future.
Gotcha. I think both of you actually roll an investigation for me. Kruger, can you roll an investigation?
Oh, sorry, I didn't think it was me. Here you go. Here you go, investigation.
You're reasonably sure that the 2 tiles south of you are safe, so that you can advance another 5 feet. As Christia, as you start to kind of look around, looking for different signs, you see inside of the red mosaic that actually says something, and you read the words, "Shun green if you can."
Okay, I'll relay that to the party.
So,
And kind of now looking back on one of the other 2 traps, I guess it's enough to see that they both are where the green lines cross through both of them. The coloring.
The dwarf says, what trickery is this? Painting a path? Rich.
It's
Well, I imagine
curious,
whoever
too, for red and yellow both seem to be dangerous as well.
built this place needed some way to keep from falling into its own traps. But
Red it is then. Keep on the path then.
though we should still proceed carefully, this could be simply another trap. Perhaps we should take this warning advice with a grain of salt. I'd say still be careful where you step.
So the
Should
dwarf,
we be testing our paths, perhaps? Putting some weight against them without or using our feet? I have my staff.
I can summon an aberration to have. Sorry, to go ahead of us, an aberration.
goes, well, I'm going to smack every tile from now on. And he goes smack and smacks the front.
So if you're doing that and checking the 2 tiles south of you, Kruger, you know that the one that is west of Chrysia is already safe, but you can do another investigation.
Yeah, I want to hit it with my warhammer and just smack it without right in front of me.
When he smacks it, is it making like a lot of noise?
100%.
So like Kasira as like a thief is going to wince every time he kind of does it.
And the dwarf it smacks it, and then he yells out, "This one's safe!"
Kasira is going to like wince again and be like, perhaps we should try to be a little quieter.
Anything happen? Anything happen on that tile?
Every time you do it, I'm going to ask you for an investigation, so you can roll another investigation. That you're investigating your interpretation of what's happening when you're testing these. Seems like a solid tile that you can step on, and you should be fine.
All right. Does anybody want to go before I smack the next one?
The creature that's holding the torch, is it generating any shadows?
What do you mean? Does the creature cast a shadow?
Yeah.
I don't think so. What are you looking for shadow for?
I have the ability to teleport to shadows.
I mean, you could teleport to the front, to like the south end of the room at this point. That's all still dim light shadow.
I want to. Is there a place that's in shadow that is also not on a green tile?
Once it's in shadow, you can't tell the color of the tile. It's just going to look like a tile.
I had a question about the writing that Chrysia saw. Did it look like it was written, like, was it like kind of scrawled, or was it written in like nice handwriting? Was it written in ink or carved directly into the rock?
The actual like mosaic red of the rock is the writing. So it's like kind
Okay.
of inside of the mosaic, inside of the rock.
Got it. Okay.
If there's nothing noteworthy, we should just continue testing the tiles and push onward, yes?
Yes, but first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to summon an aberration to follow behind the the green thing's a Fey, you said?
Yeah, it's a Fey spirit.
Okay, I'm going to be conjuring a Slod.
That's Tom.
Will.
Will. Bam, you should be able to control that one. Sweet, sweet Slotty. I might actually have a Slod token. Is it a large creature?
Medium.
So where are you summoning it?
I'm going to summon it just behind this Fey spirit.
And what are you casting? Summon Fiend?
Summon aberration.
So did it create? Did it get summoned?
That green 2 on the map, you have access to that, Will. You can place that where you would like to.
Oh, I see it. And I'm just going to tell it to follow behind the light.
You hear the dwarf go, I'm smacking another one.
Roll another investigation. When you summon the Fey Spirit, did you summon it as fuming, mirthful, or tricksy?
It's mirthful. So that basically just means when it does its teleporting ability, it can force a wisdom save to charm. Not that I think we'll be needing charm spells from this dungeon. But we'll see.
Yes, so you're going to get a solid sense that the 2 tiles in front of you are safe to walk on. And I think the slotty is going to fall through the floors. And it will take 11 piercing damage and make a con saving throw. Just roll a d20, and you've got a +2. When you cast it, you got to cast the actual spell for one. But when you cast it, what level spell did you use?
Are we able to make out whether the slot was standing on a
I'm
tile
about
with
to
like
draw
some?
it.
It was 4th level, and it was and my con saves were 19 and 12.
Let's see. So it's going to take a total of 19 damage as it falls into the pit. And it can technically fly out, so it has no problem leaving the pit.
Perhaps that writing was correct. I would say until we learn differently, perhaps we should try and just stick to the non-green tiles.
It goes, it makes sense, but I still don't know why. So I'll press forward.
And Cressira will follow behind, trying to either step over or jump over any sort of green he sees if he can.
So by this point, everybody with dark vision can see that there is a horrendous skull on the southern wall, just beyond the light from you all. It's got large horns that are probably roughly the size of like one of your legs, each over its head, and then its just mouth is gaping open.
Well, that doesn't look welcoming.
No, it doesn't indeed.
He goes, I'm taking one of the horns. I'm claiming it.
And then off to the southeast of you all see an archway that seems to have a smoky mist kind of emanating from it, just to the east of that skull.
Is the skull right here in this area where I'm pinging?
Nope. As long as you guys are looking with dark vision, I am not revealing where the skull is, but it is about 15 feet south of where the light is at present.
Okay. Oh, 15 feet from the light.
Yeah. As long as you're working with dark vision, you don't get anything but description.
Got it.
I'll send the spirit 15 feet down the hall. And
Oh.
for the record, I too am holding a torch.
Hmm. All right, the dwarf is going to keep on moving forward and now trying to stay away from the path that says green, right? So I'm going to move forward a little.
At some point, the slod would have fallen down another trap inside of that area. Make another Constitution saving throw. I think that's going to kill it regardless.
14.
Yep, it's going to die as it falls into the bottom of the pit.
Okay.
Dwarf is moving, just making sure that it doesn't step on any green tile or, just being very careful. You need me to roll investigation as well?
Are you slamming your hammer into any more tiles?
Yes, I'm not slamming anymore, just kind of tapping them, but just to make sure any non-green ones.
They feel like they are going to hold your weight.
All right, then I keep moving forward.
And Krasira is trying to keep an eye out as with each kind of tile that he's similarly trying to avoid the green. He's also trying to keep an eye out for any more writing on any of the tiles or any more messages, I guess.
You guys press Alt, you can actually place yourself inside of the tiles. Because this is, again, one of those things where you are matters. So if you just press Alt, you should be able to drop yourself on the tiles. But where are you at when you are doing that with Priscilla?
I guess I just said it now, so I'll just start with the tile I'm standing on and from kind of going forward.
Roll an investigation. Kind of just outside of your general reach where you're standing, you can see inside of the red tiles, it says, the false you find the true.
So I'll relay that message to the others. I just want to make sure I got this right. The false you find the true.
Yep.
So it could be we're being lied to.
Can I follow behind and start checking the walls?
What are you doing to the walls?
Just gonna give them a push to see if anything loose, anything gives way.
Roll an investigation. Seems like there's stone behind the fresco. As far as you can tell, everything seems normal.
The dwarf says, "Well, that's easy enough, right? They're false stones, and they're breaking and they're opening up into pits. We already figured that one out."
Perhaps.
What's true about that, though? What's inside of these pits? Is it just spikes?
Why don't you come over and lead the way and fall into one? I fell in two already.
I'd like to just peer over the edge and look into this pit over here.
Any given pit is going to shut back up after a minute, but you can look into them at some point prior when somebody fell in. It's about 10 feet down, and then there's spikes.
Shut back up in the sense that, like, it's a trapdoor that falls on a hinge and then goes, like, creak back up to flat.
Yep, Christia can tell you pretty solid that, yeah, they have a hinge mechanism underneath them, and they have a ability to reset with a counterweight that is inside of it that will draw it back up after some time.
Wasn't the chest false?
What do you mean?
No, I think the chest that we were poking around, that was a false one, right? Just trying to figure out what other false things are around.
And perhaps it's not the false you find the true. Perhaps it's there. Perhaps it's jumbled or incomplete, or there's some other way to read it. I don't know. But Kristira is going to try to essentially. Can he get to that tile to the right of Kruger? Or is the green essentially taking up all that space, or can you try to essentially jump to a spot where it's not covered with green?
I mean, I think you can standing jump that far. I'm pretty sure 10 feet is pretty much in everybody's ability on a standing jump. I do not know the rules well enough, but yeah, sure, let's go for it.
Yes, essentially, I mean, the same idea, trying to still kind of avoid the green until he gets evidence that that's not working anymore.
And the dwarf is going to move.
I'd
Where's
like
it?
to check this side of the room for any false walls or anything when possible.
Roll an investigation. Tapping along the walls, everything seems to be normal, traditional walls. Stucco.
Sorry, and as Christian is moving forward, he's checking kind of the tiles before he steps to see if he sees any more writing.
Roll another investigation. So as you get a little bit closer to it, You're able to see in the red tiles before where you looked and a little bit after it. You're able to pick out, it says, 2 pits along the way will be found to lead to fortune's fall. So check the wall. These keys and those are most... Oh, fuck, I started way too soon. Son of a bitch. Yeah, we're going to go for it. These keys or those are most important of all, and beware of trembling hands and what will maul. You will find the false, you will find the true. And then because I started too soon, I'm not giving you anything after that. That's my bad.
So this one has to do with that false cell that had the shaking hands at the beginning. Must have.
Okay, so just for clarity, can you repeat the part that we are supposed to hear?
Right now, you've gotten shun the green if you can. And then with that nat 20, you're reading a longer line of it in the red tile. And all of that is sent inside of the Discord Treasure and Glory.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't have it on.
Yeah, my bad. I could have sent that in Roll20.
So perhaps not all of these, perhaps not all the pits are spiked. If they're on the green tiles, then perhaps we can trip them without actually standing on them, and then get a peek of what's down beneath.
Was the first pit y'all fell in? What did that have spikes in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, hold on. There was a pit that. Oh yeah, that's right. There was only 1 point of damage, but it seems that there were spikes there too.
Yeah, I just didn't actually do it to you guys.
And the one I fell in certainly had spikes.
If we apply enough pressure when we're beside these pits, can we open them? I'm not very sturdy, but I have my staff. And I'm going to try to...
Just pushing on it with your staff?
Yeah, pushing down on this one there.
How much do you weigh?
Is that in my character sheets?
What kind
I'm a halfling, so I probably weigh between like 50 to 70 pounds, I'd say, right? And I'm carrying 73 pounds of gear, so it's probably about like 120 to 140 pounds.
How much of your weight are you putting into it? How much of your weight are you maintaining on your feet?
Well, I'm not trying to fall into the pit. I'm more trying to push down with my staff, like using my strength.
Roll a strength check.
Yeah.
This is where high hurts.
I got a 20.
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Can one of us attempt to grab him if we see he's
You
about
can
to
roll a
fall in?
dexterity saving throw as well. Yeah.
I got
he's
a
able to maintain it.
19.
There's a moment where you're just kind of pushing, nothing happens, and then you almost like stand up onto your staff like it's a pogo stick kind of thing. And the moment you put like a full body's weight into the staff, it starts to drop and you have to catch yourself kind of almost leaping off of your staff, like pushing off with your arms to maintain your balance, like back onto these sturdy tiles that you have to the west of you. But you now know that, yes, if you put enough weight into it, you can force these open.
So it seems it's about my weight to open one of these things. Are there stones or rocks we could gather from outside? Perhaps put them in a sack, strip them open?
Did you get a chance to see what's in the pit? Are there more spikes in that one?
Well, it's open right now. What's down there?
Does the Fey creature have language?
Sylvan and understands the languages I speak.
Do you speak Sylvan?
Let's see.
I think
No, but I have telepathy. I'm a telepathic halfling.
Yeah, so let's go for, as you're starting to, I guess really, it's once the dwarf asks, did you see what was in there? You'll see that the Fey spirit is basically kind of signaling that it has indeed seen you. What is your telepathy? Do you have to activate it?
You are able to speak telepathically to any creature as long as you share a language. You could also learn to detect thoughts. Yeah, so
you don't necessarily share a language with it, but let's just go ahead and say if Summon Fey is one of your key spells to your character, that Sylvan is one of your languages. So you can either speak with it telepathically or you can just speak in Sylvan. I've actually been tempted for a while to switch away from having people choose their languages when you create your character. I like the idea of once you're playing your character, you can just say, I speak that language. And then that becomes one of your languages. So if you have X amount, you can fill that up until you have all of those choices taken.
So is this creature communicating to me? Is that what we're getting at?
Yeah, if you can speak Sylvan, if you want to basically set Sylvan as one of your languages, assuming you have a choice with your character, basically like go in and edit your character sheet and set one of your languages to Sylvan. So that'll be locked in. And yeah, it'll basically tell you there's a 10-foot pit and spikes.
But like we can just see that, can't we? Now that we've opened this pit.
No, you didn't open that pit right there. You almost fell into it. You started to open it.
So when I put my weight against it, it started to open, and then I stepped back and it snapped closed.
Yeah, had you failed that dexterity save, you would have fallen in and opened the pit. But by saving, you were able to stop yourself from falling in, which also prevented the pit from opening. But it doesn't mean that you didn't budge the lever that started to open the pit.
Okay, so I guess it's back to, can we get a bunch of rocks or dirt and put them in a sack and just chuck them onto these platforms then?
Well, what are you all trying to get at? You just want to open all of the pits?
Yeah, to see what's inside.
It also says check the wall. I guess looking around, do we see any changes in anything unusual about the frescoes over any of these areas that we've seen the pits so far?
And are we sorry?
Go ahead. What are you asking?
I was going to ask, are we talking about the walls of the tunnel or the walls of the pit too?
It says two pits along the way will be found to lead to a fortuitous fall. So check the wall. So what I'm gathering is that if we check the wall, we're able to step onto a pit and then fall into it and find something that we need to find.
I think something on the wall will open two of the pits. That's what I'm thinking, or something along the lines of that.
I want to check the wall.
So if you're checking the wall, you can roll an investigation. And then I feel like there was another question and now I lost it. Oh, Justin had asked what else is like on the wall, like fresco wise.
Yeah, I was doing more of like a visual inspection, I guess.
Yeah, I think by the time you get towards the end here, you see that there's like a wizard study. But again, like a lot of this area has like gone from those creatures that are like pigs, apes, and humans, like in dogs, like kind of like the amalgamation of creatures, to like pastoral scenes of things like grazing on grasslands. You saw like the body like pulling against the walls of that jail. And eventually, kind of, there's things like the wizard study, kind of on the opposite side of the mist gate. But yeah, like there's a lot of different things. Like there's villagers like building like kind of like shacks or homes. So there's a lot of different things on the wall, but it's still predominantly that skull that is almost every single like pane of the wall. And most of the frescoes are on the western wall.
Okay.
Yeah, Kruger, as you look over the wall in that area, you're able to kind of like pick away some of the stucco and there's stonework behind it. But other than that, those walls all seem pretty natural and normal.
All right, in my next turn, I'm going to see if I can try to read it or decipher, something about it, like a knowledge or a religion check.
About what?
So in my whenever it's my next turn, I want to try to just kind of look over those scenes and see if I can find something with history or with religion, something that maybe hidden message.
What sort of connection might you have that you're doing a history or religion check? Like, is there something that you would have a affiliation with? What are you thinking?
So my background is a hill dwarf, right? So I'm pretty knowledgeable about those areas and open areas, hills, under mountains, right? So that's where it is. And also my explorer is swamps. So any of those kind of motifs of swamp or dark creatures, I would guess I would try to figure out if that's something that might happen here.
Gotcha, you can roll that check.
All right. So what am I rolling? What would you like to roll? Let me
It's
see.
up to you. Whatever you would like to roll, I'll give you an answer responded like basically from what you've described there, and then whatever you decide to roll.
All right. I'm going to roll insight.
You're inciting the wall. I feel like you had a
No.
better idea with like the idea of doing a religion
Yeah.
or a history.
I'll do a history.
Yeah, like in general, just for everybody, since a lot of people are new to running with me, if you call for an insight check, that's going to be a high DC. If you want to insight check somebody and you describe what you're doing, you're going to lower that DC because you're also narrowing down what you're looking for. So that's why I was asking you, like, what are you looking for? Because the more you describe what you're going to, like, what you're actually looking for, the more it narrows things down, but it also lowers the DC. As far as things go, you're going to see some level of this is an alien sort of life. There's certainly characteristics of it that are natural to many cultures. In your experience traveling, a lot of different people live pastoral lives. But in general, like the very nature of these creatures is a little bit alien. The nature of how things are kind of described here it gives you a sense of kind of what you already know. You all are looking to raid an ancient uh, tomb of a perhaps wizard, somebody who collected magical items. And in particular, there's not like a whole lot of new information or like solving the questions that you might be searching for. Because essentially, the pastoral, uh, I can't even think of the word now for the pictures, but the pictures on the wall are kind of just generic. They don't really seem to have any particular sense. The weirdest thing about them is that many of these creatures are an amalgamation of humans with other beasts. Uh, but in general, otherwise, they seem rather normal.
All right. So the dwarf goes, "This is an unnatural place. Whoever made it and whoever lives here, was doing some sort of strange rituals. We must be careful for the creatures that we might find ahead."
Indeed. So, are we interested in investigating these pits?
I think so because they said fortuitous fall. Makes it sound like there's something to be found at the bottom of them.
So we know these things will open up if an appropriate amount of weight is placed on them. But obviously, I don't think any of us wants to be the test subject. Correct?
Well, I already tested 2 of them.
And unpleasant, right?
I don't want to fall in the other one again. I can tell you that.
So, if there are some inanimate objects we could use instead.
I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm a bit heavier than you, I imagine. Grosira's an orc.
You want to jump on the pit and fall into the spikes?
Not jump, but perhaps I can put enough weight on without overbalancing myself.
What if we used a rope and you stood on it and then we all tried to hold you?
That could work. We could gently lower you into the pit.
We'll let the pit fall and then, yeah. And then,
Because the trapdoor should act as kind of like a slide, right? That would lower under the weight, but we would hold the rope so that the weight would be controlled instead of just a free fall. Yes?
yes.
Yes, that could work as long as you. Yeah, we just have to leave not enough slack, perhaps 5 feet of slack where I'm holding it and where you're holding it, and then.
Well,
that might work.
perhaps we want to tie it around your waist or in some kind of harness, too. Yeah.
That might be a better idea. Yes.
So we'll tie the rope in a harness around you, and then we'll all stand. Have we been able to tell where the hinges of the trap are?
Well, we can narrow it down
Oh,
by assuming that they're going to be on one of the green tiles.
what are you all going for here?
We're trying to lower someone safely into the trap so that they can enter the pit without being impaled on spikes, and we can investigate the walls and the floor of the trap without taking any harm.
Right.
Gotcha.
We're going for that fortunate fall.
No.
In.
Investigating the floor and the walls answers my question, what you're looking for. Because effectively, at this point, you guys have fallen into 3 of the 4 traps that you know. The slatty fell into the 4th. So, like, but that answers it. You guys are looking to investigate those walls.
We're going full Goonies, Data falling into the pit kind of maneuver.
So I
Capture
think
them.
we're going to start with a strength check from Chrisira. And actually, realistically, in the long run, I don't even think that's going to matter because over time, it's just a time expended. You're going to successfully open it. How much does Chrisira weigh? Like, you're an orc, you probably weigh close to 200, 250.
That's what I think. And then I got another 71 pounds of gear.
Yeah, so realistically, yours is also a very simple check to get inside of. Let me get a dexterity from you, and then if you guys want 4 people helping, let me get a dexterity from everybody else. All saving throws. So as it starts to fall, oh wait, you're actually trying to let yourself fall in, right?
It's almost
You're
like not
trying to
really
open the door.
repelling in, but like essentially like having it drop, and then with the rope essentially having me only drop 5 feet so that I don't, given if we think the other pits were about 10 feet or so, so that I don't fall all the way down, but I kind of get
So is anybody else helping on the repile, or is it Sater and Kruger?
Yeah, Kruger Walt is doing that. So the dwarf rolled a 14.
So if the 3 of you are holding on to the rope as he starts to like fall through the trap, he falls a couple of feet down as the trap door releases, and yeah, you're effectively like repelled inside.
I'm gonna look down to the bottom of the pit, see if I can make anything out.
Who's the other person holding the light? I feel like there's one character holding a light as well, a torch.
It's myself, though I probably would have put the torch
I
down
need a
to hold the
name.
rope. Michael?
What is that, Mike? And what character are you playing? What token?
I'm what's
Okay,
the
you're the
grain?
gnome, like right on the edge there.
Yeah, the halfling.
Yeah. So do a perception. Oh yeah, my bad. I'm still just thinking with Kisra. I mean, realistic. Everybody can look down, but you're just seeing spiked floor. I haven't even pulled out dice. Didn't even expect to. Nope, just a spiked floor. There doesn't really seem to be anything in here. I'm not even sure if you see any slotty blood.
Okay, I'll call for the others to try and pull me out. This looks like more spikes down here.
And have we tested all the walls?
You could go further and do an investigation on the walls. What are you trying to test them for? What are you thinking?
If any are false walls.
You mean inside the pit?
Yes.
What's your plan to test them is kind of what I'm getting at, though.
I'm not in the pit, but I would recommend like tapping them or putting pressure against them with a staff. Or your hands if you're feeling lucky.
Yeah, I would probably try and I guess draw out. I've got a rapier, and kind of just use that like and try and kind of not really stab the wall, but like use it as kind of like to poke and see if it feels anything other than like solid. Are the walls of these pits dirt or stone?
They're all
Or rock?
stoneworked. So just kind of like poking around with the tip of your rapier or the hilt, the pommel.
Probably the tip, yeah, to like start, just like seeing if it like just feels like I'm just like pressing it against real stone, or if there's anything odd about the walls.
Yeah. So take a few moments, poke around, feel like you're testing in general all of the sides. Doesn't seem to be anything other than stonework inside of here.
Doesn't seem like anything odd about the walls down here. What about the walls up there? Maybe it's something on the walls there will do something with the spikes.
I'll head over to this wall and I'll try to tap against it with my staff.
My bad. I don't know if I had pushed to talk there. Did you guys just hear that?
No.
No.
Nope.
In that general 20-foot area where you guys are right now, I think you've done a pretty thorough job of investigating those walls. Effectively, I think the 10-foot west or 10-foot west east of you, Mike. I feel like Tom searched that.
What
And
about here?
20-foot west, you guys haven't searched over that trap.
Yeah, but I could with my staff, I could prod against that wall, couldn't I?
Roll investigation.
$11.
Poking around, sounds like stucco with stone behind it.
Nothing here.
All right. I'm out of ideas. You want to pull me up?
Sure. We have 3 more pits we can try this in.
At least we got a plan now instead of me falling into them.
Indeed.
Tom, I feel like you checked another part of wall, or was that Will who checked the wall?
I checked the wall here, and then when we first walked in.
Do you remember where it was when you first walked in?
It was around the edge of where the chest was.
Gotcha.
And I initially checked that wall, the one with red.
All right, word. I knew there was another part of the wall that was not specifically at the chest.
Hey, I got to drop out. An emergency came up.
All good, Will. Take it easy.
Hope you're okay.
I hope everything works out.
All right, yeah.
Thanks for playing, man.
I don't know if it's gonna matter, but it says 2 pits lead to a fortuitous fall. So, with this being the third one, I don't see a point in going back and checking them. I think we should move forward and check any further ones that we find.
I agree. I think they're ahead of us.
Sure, yeah. We can keep checking the floor methodically to try to find some of the traps. Maybe the person doing the checking too, we can have them in the rope harness. So if they fall, we can try to catch them.
Yes, the purpose we should check the walls as we go along as well.
For sure.
So the dwarf moves to the side and make sure that Krishaya is tied. So he's right in the back.
So Krishaya is going to move down another 5 feet. Stay off the green.
So take your step forward. Nothing happens. Right now, is our dwarf the only person who's holding his rope?
No, I would be too.
All right, I'm going to take move down south another 5 feet.
Move forward. Nothing happens.
All right, can I check the floor to the east of me? See if it looks like there's another trap there. Or I guess
Like check it as in you're stepping on it.
I would, yeah, making sure they still got me with they're hanging onto the rope. I'm still in the harness, and then yes.
So you can move on to it. Doesn't seem to be anything happening.
Okay, I'm going to move over a little bit more so I can get a closer look at the wall to my right.
Hold on. See how the green is coming? This is like a 20-foot area. So one pit could be here and the other pit could be here. See how that green is moving like a full path for the next 20 feet?
Yeah, but I mean, clearly, unless like, is it clear that it's just one of these 4 squares that triggers the trap, or is it any of the 4 squares?
That's where the floor falls out from underneath you.
Yeah, right against the wall.
But the trigger may be on one particular section.
Yeah, I think the trigger might be on that green against the wall.
Does it look like there's enough room for me to step to my right without stepping on the green so I can try to check the wall?
To the east.
Yeah.
You can certainly try.
I'm gonna like look back to the others, like just make sure you're holding that rope, and I will try to sort of like tiptoe walk onto like a non-green area if I can, and
Make a dexterity check.
Would that be would acrobatics come into play there, or just a straight dex?
You can go acrobatics. I feel like this is like, can you? I think pirouette. Like, can you stand on your tippy toes? How successful? I'm not sure if I think that's acrobatics, but so you feel pretty confident that you're able to avoid the green stones inside of the mosaic.
Okay, and then I'm gonna try and maybe just do what I've seen the others doing, like pressing against the wall to see if anything feels other than solid stone.
Roll an investigation. I am disappointed that I drew that line, but you're pretty confident that there is nothing along those 15 feet of corridor.
So
Okay,
next square.
And just I forgot. I think at this point I have steady eye, so I would have advantage on any perception or investigation check if I move no more than half my speed. So
Excellent, even better. I don't feel as bad for drawing that line, even though you've got your 10 is the lowest you can roll.
right,
Your
right.
18 is your like barely better than the worst roll possible.
Yeah, yeah. I'm also not a very dexterous rogue, so it looks like they rolled the stats randomly as well.
I was wondering about that. I really didn't look into them at all. They're 100% just very random characters.
Yeah, because I'm a super strong, but just barely better than average. In like,
I'm actually curious for the spellcasters. Did they already have spells chosen?
Spells were chosen but not prepared. So I've prepared my spells.
Right. But like a sorcerer wouldn't have any variants. So there's a little bit of leeway for a wizard. So doesn't seem like there's anything beyond the stucco. Little bits of stucco fall off as you're kind of poking at it with your rapier. Or wait, rapier? Yeah. But otherwise, nope, just seems like a stone wall.
Okay, I'm going to move down another 5 feet by south.
So on some level, technically, I've got you like up against that wall because you've already moved like into that space. You want to
Oh,
like move
sorry.
back out and down.
Yeah, I guess another dex check to get over it again. Or is it because I'm moving?
No, there was nothing in that. There was nothing dangerous in that square. I was just fucking with you because you asked for a roll.
Okay.
Because you were being dexterous, you could have rolled a 1 there and failed miserably, and still nothing would have happened.
Stub my toe or something, yeah.
Yeah, you like walk away without thinking about it, and you definitely stepped on green stones. But yeah, as you move down a little bit closer to the fey creature, nothing happens.
Okay. Do I, from this far away, can I make out any more details about this like giant skull down at the end of the corridor?
What are you thinking?
I know you like described it as it had like some like 2 giant horns right on the side on the top of its head and a gaping maw. Do I see anything within the mouth, like any sort of like I don't know, scorch marks or anything near the base of the skull? Gonna make anything out like that, I guess, is kind of what I'm looking for. Or if it looks like
Skulls,
there's anything within like the mouth, or is it just kind of an open, gaping kind of?
the skull's stonework seems to just be maybe like jade kind of mounted to the wall of this actual area. Um, you see that it almost looks like maybe a human, like a human, an old man with a beard, or like a satyr, um, some sort of demon, perhaps, with those horns. But in general, it has kind of a humanoid look. The closer that you get, but looking inside of the mouth, it's just darkness. It's black.
Does it look like someone would fit in it, like a path?
The mouth is probably about like 2.5 feet wide. Um, Maybe about 4 feet wide, because it is a good chunk of this actual corridor, and it's a little bit taller than it is wide. You could probably find a way to like crawl into it from the actual like lips, or you could probably get anybody who took like a running jump and could leap into it.
It goes. It seems like a dead end, but I'm pretty sure there's more pits around, maybe in front of that mouth.
We can just continue our method. Step forward, brace ourselves, step forward, brace ourselves, to make sure no one gets stabbed, and make sure that the floor is safe. If there are more pits, we can investigate them. If there aren't, we have 3 pits behind us we have not yet checked.
All right. I still have the rope right tied to Grisaya, so we can so if he falls in, I'll be able to pull him out. So I'm right behind him, 5 feet.
In that case, I will keep going. I'll move south another 5 feet.
Step onto the square. There's no problem. Solid stone.
Okay, I'm going to try and do the same thing. Get over to my right and kind of check this portion of the wall if I can.
As you all adjust, somebody is falling down into a pit. Who's the white token with the black border?
Me.
As you step into that square, I can't do this while pressing Alt. As you step into the square and everybody is bracing themselves to hold Chrysaya, you are going to fall, start to drop into a pit.
Is there any way that I can do a dex to try to grab him?
You can certainly try, but you are also focused on keeping Chrysaya from falling into a pit.
So disadvantage?
You can just roll it, and I'll tell you whether it works. I was just letting you know that your focus is probably somewhere else. Yep, you are very focused on making sure Chrysaya does not fall into a pit, and all of a sudden you guys are going to see as...
I cast
What kind
Featherfall to keep them from falling dangerously.
That's perfectly fine.
So Crucero is completely focused on himself, not or like so he probably didn't even he was completely taken by aback by this. Did the hinges like make a sound when they open up? Like so he would like turn back and see that uh his companion had fallen in.
Satyr, he goes, Satyr, watch out! As the dwarf tries to grab him and, miserably fails.
And I drop the rope. Uh, and toss a little piece of down.
So, Satyr, you are going to fall, and fall, and fall. And after about 2 seconds, you're going to land on a stone floor. You're inside of a small room. Do you have any light source? What's your race?
I'm a gnome.
Yeah,
I have
so I
dark
think
vision.
so you can see that you're in like a 10 by 10 space. You can see that moments after you fell through and into this area, the ceiling, I think, shuts up on top of you. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so I think you can see about 10 feet above you that the ceiling seems to like open up and turn to the east. And you can basically see that there's a wall kind of from where you were spat out. But other than that, at present, you basically see that you are in about a 10-foot by 10-foot space with about a 10-foot ceiling.
Okay.
Do you have any source of light? What are you doing as you fall into there?
My Fae would have fallen with them, wouldn't they?
As far as I am concerned, that Fae is weightless.
So it can hover over pits and stuff.
As far as I've been treating it, yes.
Okay, yeah, just because it has a move speed, not a fly speed, just for like, if that will cause weird interactions.
I'm sticking with how I've been playing it.
Okay.
The creature is not useful for finding things inside of here. At present, you are using it as essentially an unseen servant.
Crucero's gonna try and call down like for Satyr, see if if he can hear him on the other side of this pit, I guess.
As you call down, you hear a little bit of an echo. And then after a moment, that door is going to seal itself shut.
Should we go after them?
Yeah, you've still got the you two grab the rope, and I'll see if I can get a look down there.
Sure thing.
And then kind of once they're holding the rope, I will step onto the step to my left here.
Wait, isn't Seder the one who fell in there?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
All right. I mean, for what it's worth, you don't even have to cast Featherfall. He's a monk. He essentially has Featherfall.
Okay.
So you're going to step on top. Let me get a strength saving throw from the other two people.
And that'll have a +2 because I'm concentrating on a spell, so 21.
You get stronger for concentrating.
It's a War Mage feat called not feat, sorry, feat called Durable Magic. When you maintain concentration on a spell, you have a +2 bonus to AC and all saving throws.
Intriguing. So yeah, as you drop him down in, he starts to fall. You guys start to hold his weight. Steady yourselves. Slowly start to lower him down. And eventually you're going to get to the end of the rope. And you're just inside of a dark tunnel. You can see a little bit below you. But otherwise, from your perspective at present, the tunnel just goes on.
So I don't see Seder anywhere.
Nope.
So I'll probably call out again for Seder.
Can I hear him?
Make a perception check, Tom. You hear a slight muffle through the sound of the stone, but he sounds far away and beyond walls.
What's going on down there? Is he okay?
What?
I'm gonna float my torchbearer down past Chris and as far down the tunnel as they can, so Chris can see how far down it goes.
And I'm just listening to see if I hear any response.
So you're going to see as this creature starts to fall past you, as it gains some semblance of weight, and all of a sudden the light is going to fly past you. And then all of a sudden it is going to fall into the room with you, Seder. And let's see. As it falls down to the ground, you're going to have a torch right next to you. and the creature's going to die.
So it's taking fall damage now.
I told you it was weightless. If you want
Okay,
it to
so
go
I
down,
will cast Featherfall on it if that's going to be the issue.
it's already gone and out of your view before you have that opportunity.
So I commanded it to fall, and I just let it die.
You basically gave it weight, and by the time you realize what's going on, it's going to be gone. Yes.
All right. It's been fun, guys. I think I've got dinner to make, so you guys have yourself a good night. Okay.
So you've got a torch in that little room with you, Tom.
Okay. Does that change what I can see?
With a little bit of effort, you can stoke the light and keep it going. And as you kind of look around, there are 3 levers inside of this room on that southern wall. They're all made out of copper.
Are they all are they all identical?
Yeah, from what you can see, they all look identical.
And are they all in the same position?
Right now, you've got the first one and the last one are up. The middle one is down.
Okay.
And sorry, did I see anything further as the Fae with the torch kind of went down, or did it kind of eventually just like keep going for a while and disappear from view? Did it seem to? Did I see any catch any sign of like a floor or? Uh,
I think you're basically going to see. Yeah, I feel like you'd be able to pick up most of the fall. And between the light, say it's. I mean, even if it's 5 foot, I think that gives you a vision through the whole thing, like as the wind's like sweeping against the torch. Um, gives you enough to see like the corridor, and it's basically like falling down for probably what, say you're like 40 foot down, probably about the extent of your vision. So you have a pretty good guess of 50 plus feet, 50 to 60 feet, maybe a little bit further. And then as it fell, it just very quickly like poofed and the light was gone.
okay, so I'll relay this all up to the others.
I think at this point it is now just the dwarf.
Oh, right, okay. I mean, it's a little bit of an extreme reaction to quit because you don't like a ruling, but
Yeah, it's a low ass level spell, and I fucked up the creature from the start because I was thinking of it as a pixie. So I'm sorry if that angers you, but I think that's a perfectly sufficient thing to let the creature fall instead of let it hover down. And if you let it gain mass, as far as I'm concerned, by the time he has it gain mass, it's already fallen.
So the dwarf kind of yells up, "Are you coming up or are you going down? I can't hold it."
yeah, I'll start to try and pull me up because it seems like this drop goes on for a while. I'll kind of like call out, trying one more time to see if I can hear Satyr as I start trying to like climb back up.
Yeah, I think the two of you just doing a strength check.
So as he pulls him up, I guess
Oh, wait.
what happened?
Can you do a strength check with Kruger as well?
I think we both did, right?
Oh, yeah, he did a strength save, so it might just be the difference between the save and the check.
I got it. Give me 1 second.
Oh, what's your? Do you have strength proficiency? I assume yes, probably.
I do. Yeah. So that's the strength proficiency on the save. But let me do a straight check. Give me 1 second.
It's going to be the same die. It's still that 10. So, is it? Do you have a +3? I feel like you'd have like a +4.
Plus
right
one.
now.
Actually, it's a +1.
You only have a +2 on your strength.
I have a +1 on my strength, and then he has a +2 for proficiency for saves.
Yeah, our classes and our stats are in no way connected.
Yeah, but proficiency, and that just blows my mind. That doesn't make
Oh yeah.
proficiency
I think
should be much higher than that right now.
yeah, there's a
What character are you? I don't even see you in the campaign with him.
although my strength check is only it's a +4, so it doesn't actually add your proficiency bonus, it looks like. For just a straight check. So if he's got a +1, it would just be a +1.
Right. I got a +1, and then I got for strength saving throws, I got a +3. So it adds my proficiency for strength saving throws. But I think this would be a straight strength check, not a save, right?
Yeah, like on DnDBeyond, when you roll a straight check, it doesn't add your proficiency bonus.
At this point, I was more interested in seeing why your character was not in the campaign. Can you click that link with Krugerwald and actually join with that character? Or is your point that you don't actually have him on D&D Beyond? I don't know why he's not in the campaign.
No, I have it on D&D Beyond. Right?
Yeah, can you join that link then? So I can actually see the character? And what are you doing down there, Sater?
I do not want to touch anything. I would like to try and climb out.
Roll a strength check. I sent a link to Discord for you to click with Kruger. I'm gonna crawl up, see a little bit closer to where there seems to be a stone blocking the way out, and fall down.
All right. Yeah. You should see it there now.
Yeah, I definitely think you missed. We have pre-generated level 15 characters, and you are playing a level 1.
Jesus, no wonder. Right? No wonder I'm like almost dying.
So I'm just going to throw it out there. You are perfectly fine to continue with that character and allow them to eventually die here. Because again, this is a test of you all as players far more than it is your characters. But yeah, there's just a pool of level 15s who are basically all randomly generated characters. And in time, you can pick one of those.
Got it.
So what's everybody thinking right now?
So I guess assuming Chris was able to climb back up to the pit, he would tell Krugerwalt what he saw, or more like we didn't see. He didn't really hear anything. He tried calling out for Seder, but didn't hear any response. And it seemed like that pit went on for a while. I saw the the faith thing go down, and then it just seemed to disappear. I don't know what happened with to Seder.
Roll an intelligence. I guess if wisdom's higher, you could roll a wisdom. Solid. So yeah, you understand that fall is at least like 50 or 60 feet.
I mean, I could try to I do have some pythons. I could try to, and a climbing hammer. I could try to climb down. See if I can find out what happened. Although I don't know how I used one python to jam a wall, so I think I've only got 9 left.
He goes, and you didn't hear him at all down there.
No, I tried calling for him.
If I look up, is it a shadowy area?
You could put out the torch and regain shadow, but no, you are in like a 10 by 10 by 10 cube.
Okay, I'll give it another go to try and climb out, unless I can use acrobatics.
You can do another strength check. There's not really any acrobatics that you can do inside of here. So you climb up 10 feet and the wall's sealed. All around you is just stonework.
Would we know, would our characters know that he has the ability to teleport to shadows?
I don't see why in the long run you guys wouldn't have a vague understanding of his abilities.
I mean, if we Kruger, do you have some rope? If we tie these ropes together, if we can try and secure them against something, maybe drill some pythons into the ground and try and climb down, maybe we can reach him. But
He goes, I got my bit of rope, my 60 feet, 60 feet, or I think it's 30 feet. Let's see how much I have.
Should be 50.
Yeah.
I got my 50 feet of rope. If you have any more, we can tie it and just kind of toss it down there. We can also start a fire and see if we can throw it down this pit. Seems awfully dark down there.
Yeah, so I've got 50 feet as well. So if we connect those, I can got a lantern. I can try and secure that to myself and climb down the rope and see if I can spot anything.
Now let's lower the lantern first, right? If we lower the lantern, then we can see if he's dead. If he's dead there, then no pace. I think we should lower the lantern first, right? And afterwards, if we see it down there, if he's dead, then what's the point? If it's not, then at least we'll be able to see what's down there. So the dwarf is just tying those two ropes together. And says, "So what are we doing? Are you going down, or are we sending the lantern first?"
I'd like to try to reach him if I can. I'm going to try to go down. Take the lantern with me. And again, maybe try to secure, sort of, if we can, secure it with some like pythons in like the ground. Maybe hopefully hold my weight.
Do you have a hammer on?
I do. I have
guess
pythons
three,
and a climbing hammer.
Word. Okay. Yeah.
And my
Yeah.
burglary
So
kit.
with a little bit of effort, you can do another wisdom for me. You could rig up a 3-point harness with the pythons that is 100% secure enough to hold your weight. It's going to use up a little bit more rope, but it's a secure way to effectively mount yourself.
All right. I think we should do that then. Any objections, Kruger?
Sorry, guys. The wife called.
Oh, what did you?
Are we?
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. So, I'm going to be needing to head out in like about 10 minutes. I'm going to go see Dune on the IMAX. I hope everybody gets a chance to see that.
Very nice.
Yeah. So it's just all right. So are we in? You need a strength check to lower Justin down, Christina.
Part of what we were getting at while you were probably talking to your wife was the idea that he basically sets up like a 3-point harness with his pythons. So he has a secure point to mount the rope to. It uses a little bit more rope, but it basically gives him a secure means to rappel from. But
Absolutely.
at this point, as far as things go, I feel like the solution is to basically um, kind of fast forward here. And if Seder is just going to patiently wait in that room, I feel like at some point you guys are going to have to fashion a lot more rope out of like vines or something that you harvest.
I started climbing, so I'll
But
carry
you've
on.
only got 10 feet before you hit that wall. Like you're in a solid room.
Maybe, I don't know, probably something to do with those levers. You might have to check
So
those.
there's a ceiling.
Yeah, you're in like a 10-foot by 10-foot room that's 10 feet tall. And it's all stone. It all looks the same. You know that at some level, like you fell through the east, but right now it's all just a filled in cube.
Oh, okay. I thought I fell down. I didn't realize I'd been teleported.
No, you fell down, but the point is this place is a death trap. You're sealed into a cube.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to go and get you. Definitely.
So part of what I was saying is depending on how patient you are, you do know that those three levers are there, but if they rappel him down, even with 50 feet of rope, you're still, or even with 100 feet of rope tied together, Chrysilla's still going to be too short to make it there. Even with, like, regardless of how you all tie those ropes together, you need more than that. So on some level, they are going to be an extended period of time before they are able to get close to you. So, is your patience still holding out?
Yeah. For now.
What's for now?
I don't want to press these levers and possibly steal them in here with me too.
So roll a wisdom check. So you're going to get impatient before they get to you. What do you think that would be Seder doing?
I imagine he'd first try and press the middle one that is down, up.
When you press it up, there's a, and it opens that slide to the north, to the east, and there's a way out above you.
Then I will start climbing.
Roll another strength check. And then let's see. How do we do a timing? I feel like let's have a D100 from Seder and a D100 from Chrysira. Thinking within 50 of each other. So as you start to climb out, you're going to see a like moment of frustration in Chrysira as he, going with a he.
Yeah, I
as
didn't really give it much thought, but yeah.
yeah. As they are like lowering themselves down, and there's like a moment of frustration as he can vaguely see in the darkness. Oh, wait, you said you've got a lantern. So on some level, you can see that you were like 20 feet of rope away from being able to get to the bottom as you hear that sliding, and then very shortly after, Seder climbing out.
Seder, there you are. Where'd you go?
A small room with a lid on it.
Let's see if we can. You see it? Anything else? Maybe we should just get back up, and I'll call up to Kruger to let him know, and then see if I can. I should try and pull him up with me. If I can try and rappel back up or climb back
Yeah,
up.
so how about we do. How about like an athletics from the two of you in the tunnel, and then we do a strength from Kruger up top as he's trying to basically pull the rope forward as you guys are trying to like try to run up this tunnel kind of thing.
The dwarf goes up or down the side already. I've done this twice.
I think you make some solid progress, but it's not great. You very quickly feel where Seder's kind of like losing a little bit of their own footing, and you guys kind of like almost like lean with your feet on one side and try to get like your back. I guess really it's the orc doing it, like kind of lean with your feet on one side, your back against the wall, and almost like lifting Seder up onto yourself, but you basically hold your position. And Kruger very quickly sees that difference. And you guys are probably about like 30 or so feet above that, probably about halfway up this shaft. And do another round of that. Damn, I mean, 33 was enough for all three. I feel like the nat 20 is going to do it. So in this next go, you guys are going to be able to basically kind of call out to each other. 1, 2, 3. And as you guys start to kind of run up those walls, like shuffling up this little corridor, Kruger's able to pull against the weight of the rope and eventually get the three of you out and back into the same corridor.
Thanks, Kruger.
What do you mean? Thanks. This is, I'm taking it down. There's going to worth some heavy gold at the end of this. Make sure you don't fall again. And make sure let's keep on going.
Oh. And Cider, you didn't see anything else in that room? Wherever it is you fell into?
No.
Did it hurt when you fell in?
No. But
So,
I have ways to slow my descent. Maybe that's why it didn't damage me.
Okay.
Or maybe it was just the magic. Because
I'm just thinking, could that have been the fortuitous fall?
well, the room had like a roof on it, so I don't know if I fell or not.
Well, let's say 2 pits along the way. Perhaps there's another, but
We could try searching the wall around the sides of this hole.
yeah. So I guess Chrisira will try and check the wall to his left.
Roll investigation. And if Seder is as well, roll an investigation. Why doesn't it show the second 16 is... Oh, because it's actually a 10. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that skill or feature.
So looking over... Yeah, I thought it was funny that you picked the Inquisitive again. Or at least it feels like again. It feels like coming home to a hot cup of tea to see Justin in an Inquisitive.
Yeah, I
robe.
mostly picked it because I'm familiar with it, so I figured that'd be quick for a one shot. I wouldn't have to worry about learning new stuff.
All right. Yeah, so as you guys look over these walls, what's your monk weapon, Seder? Or do you just open hand?
I have a short sword.
So when you're checking the walls, what are you doing to check the walls?
I'm just touching them to see. Well, I'd say touching them, trying to push them, trying to put some force into them to see if anything opens.
Gotcha. So just kind of open handing over the wall. Everything feels pretty smooth, pretty normal. Feels like stucco on stone. And with Chrisira over there, just kind of like poking at different parts of the wall with his rapier, prick off little bits of the stucco, revealing the stone below, but everything's pretty much in the same way. It seems just really normal, really just stone wall.
Mm. And is this over to my right? Is this where the mist seemed to be?
It'd be behind where you're at, off to the east of where you are. That's a archway like a stone archway with mist beyond.
All right, I'm going to start moving closer towards this this skull thing, trying to get a bit of a closer look at that. Again, still trying to keep off the green.
Take another step forward. Nothing happens.
And then I'm going to move forward again.
And I'm following right behind, step by step, right?
Sure. Just taking another step forward. Nothing happens.
You see that as the dwarf goes, oh, hell. We've been sneaking around this place left and right. As he loses a little bit of patience and just moves right in front of the mouth, right there on that red and green square, I guess.
Stepping over there. Nothing happens. You just see a little bit closer. The same, pretty much like a bas relief. Maybe comes out a little bit further than most traditional ones, but it's just kind of about like 6 or 8 inches off of the wall itself. Seems like an incredibly large, probably jade stone construction, and this mouth is just demon creature that seems to almost be like yelling at the top of its lungs, and it just has like a blank stare just looking down this corridor.
Goes, well, I guess I'm the smallest one here, and I guess it's what I'm going to have to do. As soon as I saw it, I knew what it is, and he walks into the open mouth.
How are you walking into it?
I'm just getting as close as I can and then climbing into it, 1 foot at a time, see if I can just kind of climb right into that wall or into the mouth. I want to see if there's a path through it instead of taking the path that seems red to the left-hand side.
Just kind of going like head first, like reaching forward, like slowly feeling your way with an arm.
Right. Just kind of feeling myself with the arm, and then as soon as I get to like the lip section, then just putting 1 foot in, and then just having my, Warhammer ready available.
All right, you're gonna like step up on the lips and then step into it.
Absolutely.
So you all are going to see as he steps up, and he's going to step in and disappear.
Can I get a description again of this thing, please?
Sorry, guys, I gotta go. But
Peace out.
thank you. Yeah, I like exactly. I can't find a better moment to just disappear into the mouth of this thing. So
totally
heading
agree.
out. Yeah, thank you so much. All right.
Well,
I'll
have a
keep
great
an eye
day.
out. All right, have a good
Yeah,
one.
man.
Bye.
Enjoy the movie. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
Oh wait, I thought I posted that picture into Discord. What happened?
Oh, you know what? You posted it in the welcome, I think.
Oh, okay, I posted in the wrong one. My bad. I'll repost it to this actual Treasure and Glory. But otherwise, I mean, it is pretty simple. It's like a green jade stone mask almost, or stone creature. Looks like a devil face with it's probably about like 8 or so feet tall. The mouth itself is probably like 3 or 4 feet wide, and it's a little bit taller than it is wide. Pretty much perfectly sized for a dwarf to step into it. It has just big blank eyes that kind of stare down the hallway, and otherwise it's just a black open, like screaming mouth.
Okay, I don't particularly want to follow him.
It seems like it's after him into the mists, or
What's over here? Is this a corridor?
That's the archway with the mist. Moving over closer to it, nothing happens stepping on those stones, so you make your way over there. That stone archway just seems to be layered with this mist just kind of billowing out. Seems to have a room within, but it's just filled with mist. And what is it? The keystone at the top of the arch is a little bit like protruding from all of the others, but um, yeah, you're moved in front of it. Will you press Alt and actually pick one of those four squares that you're basically between? Yeah, so as you step like immediately in front of the archway, you're going to see as a stone about 3 feet above the ground in the left is going to start to glow yellow. A stone about 3 feet above the ground on the right side of the archway is going to start to glow orange, and the keystone up top is going to start to glow blue.
Okay.
sorry, you said the keystone's blue, then the one on the right is orange, or the one on the left?
Left is yellow, the keystone is blue, and then the right is orange. So north is yellow, blue is the center, and then orange is the south.
Okay, thanks.
Any idea which? I mean, are they buttons? These lights? They kind of feel like buttons.
How far above is are these stones reachable?
Satyr is a gnome. Yes. Probably not reachable for Satyr. I think pretty much any orc, all but like the shortest of orcs, could reach the keystone. It's probably about 7 feet to the ground.
And you said it was the keystone seemed to be protruding slightly.
Yeah, as far as things go, though, that's normal for keystones to be larger.
Okay. I'm gonna if I raise my hand and kind of like towards it, do I feel any heat coming off of this glow?
Oh, it doesn't feel hot, no.
I'm gonna warn Satyr, then I'm gonna reach out and touch it and just see what happens. And then after giving him some warning, I will go and try and touch it and touch the keystone, so the blue.
So you're touching the keystone?
Yes.
Nothing seems to happen.
Try a different one.
All right. If I can reach, I'll see if touch the orange to the right.
Nothing seems to happen.
All right, I'm going to back away a little bit.
Like stepping off to the west.
Yes, sorry.
So as you step into like that western area, like outside of 5 feet away from it, all of the stones cease to glow, and once again they just look like pretty traditional, like gray igneous rock. Shale came to mind, but they're definitely not shale because shale's very brittle and flat. But yeah, they look like normal gray stones once you step away from it and are outside of arm's reach.
Yeah, I'd like to walk up to it, and when the lights come on, do they come on simultaneously?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And which is on the is there like one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right?
Yeah, so yellow is left, blue is the keystone in the middle, and then orange is the south in the on your right.
Yeah, and I touched blue first and then orange, and nothing happened either time.
Okay, I'll try yellow.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
Should we just try to walk through?
I don't think so. Um, maybe it's a sequence. So could try either orange or blue next. What do you think? Could be like lightest to darkest color.
Yeah, maybe orange. I'll press the orange keystone.
Nothing
Or,
happens.
not the keystone, but
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, and then we'll press blue.
Yeah, so you'll see a satyr kind of like reaches for the blue one, and you can tap it. Nothing happens.
Okay. How many combinations of colors are there?
I think there's going to be 9. I think it's 3 times 3. It might actually reduce, so it might be 6.
I guess it depends if the combination could include the same one twice. In which case it would be 3 by 3 by 3. Or no, 3 by 3 by 3, which would be 27.
Well, I think the dangerous part of assuming that it might include them twice is that it starts to become um, like 4, if not 5, if not 6 variables.
All right. Yeah.
So I think the safe thing to say is that there's 3 colors. You guys probably have 6 potential combinations.
I mean, I'm leery of pressing blue and then yellow because I think blue and yellow make green, and it says to shun green if you can. If I'm getting my color combinations right.
I don't know. It's confusing because it also said like the false, something about being false and something about being true. Okay.
Wait, if you find the false, you find the true. You fell through, seemed like a false floor. So maybe that's the way we need to go.
Also, there was 3 levers down there. 2 of them were down. 2 of them were up, and 1 was down. The middle one was down.
And you pushed it up, and that's how you were able to get back
Yeah,
up to
when I
us.
pushed it up, it kind of got rid of the ceiling, which allowed me to climb up. But I don't really know if that's got anything to do with this door. It was just because there was 3 of them and 3 of these.
I mean, it seems like perhaps you found the false, and we need to go that way.
Let me have you do an intelligence check. Both of you can roll this. We're going to go for Seder. You have seen that every time that Chrysia has looked at the red stones, Chrysia has been able to read more of that text. At this point, you guys can understand that there is a message written in the red stones. If you start at the entrance to the cave and walk all the way down to where you guys are here.
Okay, I will
Oh,
suggest that to him. So maybe there's some more writing that we've missed.
that's a good idea. And we didn't start looking for it until we were already somewhat in. So maybe if we start at the beginning and yeah, good
I think
idea.
we found all of the pit traps. So I don't think we have to worry about finding any more.
And so we'll try and making our way back towards the entrance, kind of sticking to the safe squares that we know of.
So you all can walk back. I mean, I don't know if you guys marked off which squares were safe, but as far as I'm concerned, you guys can walk back to the start and progress down towards here. But effectively, as you follow that red path, you guys can read that story basically in the red stones. Acererak congratulates you on your powers of observation. So make of this whatever you wish, for you will be mine in the end, no matter what. Go back to the tormentor, or through the arch, and the second great hall you'll discover. Shun green if you can, but night's good color is for those of great valor. If shades of red stand for blood, the wise will not need sacrifice, aught but a loop of magical metal, you're well along your march. 2 pits along the way will be found to lead to a fortuitous fall, so check the wall. These keys and those are most important of all, and beware of trembling hands and what will maul. If you find the false, you find the true, and into the columned hall you'll come, and there the throne that's key and keyed. Iron men of visage grim do more than meet the viewer's eye. You've left and found my tomb. Now your souls will die.
So it sounds like whether we go through the arch or we assume this bas relief is the tormentor, that they both might lead to the same place.
Where's the arch?
We're standing right by it.
This is an arch.
Yeah, you guys are right next to a stone archway, and the mist is beyond it. One of the stones, about 3 feet high on the left, is the yellow one. The keystone, which is the central stone in the arch itself, is the blue one. And then one of the stones on the right side, about 3 feet high, is the orange one.
Have we come across anything that's like a tormentor?
What do you think of as like a tormentor?
Something demonic?
Like a big green skull that's attached to the wall? A bunch of creatures that have heads that don't seem to fit human bodies? I don't know if you've not come past tormentors, but what do you think is a tormentor?
I don't know.
So that's another kind of picture view of the corner that you guys are in right now, where you have that stone archway with the mist and then the actual skull along the wall.
Maybe we should just try and step in through the mist.
What do you think? Why? What do you think a tormentor is?
Me?
Anything really.
Either of you.
Anything that torments somebody.
You
Maybe
can't
like
define something with the word.
like a jailer or a torturer or something that's punishing someone else.
Where have you guys seen a jail anything?
Oh, the mural of the prisoner, or the hands up on the
So right now you guys have an understanding that that line is saying, go back to the tormentor, that prison cell, or go through the arch.
and they
And
both
one of
lead
those
to
leads to the Great Hall.
Okay, we go back and see if we've missed something, or I think we try more color combinations.
So what are you doing?
I think Crisai feels like going through the arch is our better option, but
Are you going to try another color combination?
night's good color.
It also says something about shades of red. Now, you could say that orange is maybe a shade of red, but like, is yellow a shade of red?
Oh, so will blue and yellow make orange together?
Blue and
Maybe if
yellow
we
make
do
green.
orange, maybe like orange, yellow, blue, or orange, blue, yellow.
Are you trying those combinations?
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
So you did orange, blue, yellow, orange, blue, yellow.
And orange, yellow, blue. Yeah.
So I'll do yellow, blue, orange.
I mean, again, on some level, you have to have him still touch the blue one. But when you do that, the mist clears.
Hey, we did it.
Oh, what did you do? Yellow, blue, orange?
Yeah.
Simply left or right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just like, if there was 6 combinations, we've already done 2. So, okay. What was behind the mist? Is there a great hall?
You just see that there's a small corridor about 10 feet ahead of you.
And I've got a torch lit up at this point, so I'll have some light. Guess I'll step in.
Yeah, let's go in and search the walls.
So there's possibly no easy way to really delineate this, but the red line of stones leads into this. Both of you are basically on one side or the other of where this essentially is. What are you guys doing? Are you kind of like leaping over the red and jumping into there?
Oh, if the red continued in, I would probably actually like stay on that.
It technically like continues into the archway. There's not really any stones, like there's no colored mosaic stones once the mist clears inside of that room.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're gonna be checking the wall, then probably I guess I would have moved to the south, and Seder would have moved to the north to either side. This basically looks like a 10 by 10 room.
Yeah, but when you walk through, are you purposefully avoiding the stones?
Which stones?
The red stones on the ground.
Well,
Probably not. I wouldn't.
I don't think
Chrisura
so.
wouldn't.
I thought red was safe. Red and yellow.
So I believe Cressira moved in first.
Yeah.
So the moment Cressira steps on the stones and walks in, Cressira is disappearing. What's Seder doing?
Okay. I'm gonna step on the red stone as well.
And you too will disappear.
I think red is safe and will lead to the great hall.
So you guys should be able to see yourselves in the northwest corner of this map.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, do you mind if I take a quick 2 minutes? I just gotta step away for a sec.
100%. We are definitely good for it.
All right, I'll be back in a minute.
That's literally the entrance hall. That's all that's been done.
How long were you thinking of playing for?
I feel at this point it's going to end up being probably until you are incapable of playing. Basically, between Justin and yourselves, how long you're good for, both mentally, because this is like a frustration dungeon, as well as also time wise. I'm not sure what exactly your time will give you, but it's like 11:30 there.
Yeah, I think I'm good to play till midnight.
Yeah, so I think the part of the problem is realistically 40 minutes might get you like an introduction into like the next part, but part of the problem with how this boils down is this is one of those places that I feel like I've seen games of this go for like a day kind of thing. This is a big dungeon.
Yeah, yeah, for like a one shot, maybe if you wanted to do it all in a day, you'd have to start pretty early. Plus, I remember watching a video once about this. I think it's this dungeon anyway, or the original, and some of the solutions to the puzzles are very bizarre and almost cannot be reached using logic.
Oh, 100%. Yep. If this is even remotely what you think you've watched, it is 100% the Tomb of Horrors, and it is indeed that dungeon.
And I can't remember the solutions to them, but like however long it would take to randomly decide to do what it is that would solve them, probably take a long time.
And that's part of why I tried to like pitch it with that idea. Like, this is not a test of your characters. This is a test of you, the player. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult. Like, everything about it is like Gary Gygax pretty much like created it to balance like when people would come to conventions and say like, of course my DM gave me all of these amazing magical items that you should never give away two of in a campaign, but I have all four of them. It's just essentially a great equalizer. Nothing about your character really matters too much. It should be able to kill anybody. But part of what I was thinking with the idea of a one shot is effectively we would probably actually end with characters getting killed more than likely actually coming to the end of the actual dungeon.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, so with the idea that I'm vaguely sure Tom knows what dungeon this is, I feel like Justin, you've probably figured it out by now, but you guys are inside of the Tomb of Horrors. So that is the entrance hallway of the Tomb of Horrors that you've gone through now.
Yeah, I think you had mentioned actually that your one shot might be this, so I kind of guessed, and then once I saw a Sararak, I haven't run the dungeon, but I'm pretty sure I know that's like his dungeon.
Yeah. I feel like I gave plenty of clues for pretty much anybody to kind of figure it out without actually saying it once it was time to play. Part of why I was originally pitching it to you with the idea that I would say it's actually the Tomb of Horrors is because, as far as I think of it, this is like a trainer in what Tomb of Annihilation is like. And it kind of, I feel at least, this is probably a little bit of a reminiscent of like walking through Crocodile and Man, like how you have to think like batshit crazy stuff to have a solution to the traps.
Right, right.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the first thing, I was like, okay, everybody, let's hold hands.
Yeah, there's definitely tactics that kind of got thrown away, but this was the dungeon. I feel like this was in the day and the age where you don't walk through a dungeon without having everybody in the front of it tapping the tiles with a 10-foot pole. And I feel like that's why 5th edition, every single pit trap has a weight limit for it to fall out. But as far as moving forward goes, you guys are going to basically Cresera is walking through, and you will see first that there is kind of like a 10-foot by 20-foot room ahead of you. And on that eastern side, the south corner, the light is kind of falling outside into a corridor that seems to head south from that corner.
Okay, I'm going to kind of like check the floors in front of me. Is there anything on
Oh,
or
wait,
on
my
the?
bad. I might have skipped something that's useful. My bad, forgive me. I spent like all of my time preparing the maps, and I forgot to actually give a read through a second time of the actual module. So I read it like once ages ago and once like a week and a half ago. Yes, so there's something else in this actual room. On the eastern side of this room, effectively in like the center of that area, there is a large, almost draconic creature. Anybody with kind of any kind of semblance around churches would kind of recognize it as effectively like a gargoyle, some sort of demon meant to keep things away. And it's basically a four-armed gargoyle with its wings kind of extended up into the air. One claw is raised up high above its head. The other two are almost just kind of out to the side, almost like it's kind of like flexing. One of those hands kind of grasped, like somewhat open, but almost grasped again as if it's kind of like strengthening those muscles or flexing those muscles. And then the other claw kind of in front a little bit more in that same motion. So, like the two lower arms are kind of flexed with their claws kind of open and down, and then one claw is kind of flexed or kind of like raised up above its head. And you can see that the fourth arm is broken off of this creature, and the arm is on the ground at its feet.
Is it moving or?
No, no, from this perspective, it looks like a gargoyle statue.
Which way is it facing?
I think it's facing towards you. I think that sounds right. Yeah, because it's
Those
essentially facing away from the wall, so it's looking like towards this area. I think you guys have a pretty solid understanding that on some level this is like the welcomer.
do those look like trembling hands to you, Seder? Or
It looks like it was going to take a swing at me the moment I go past. I really don't see any other option though than to just walk by it.
I'm gonna poke at the fallen fourth arm. You said I'm gonna like poke at it with my rapier.
All right, you poke at it. Nothing seems to happen.
I'm gonna kind of like try to sort of like stay defensive. I'm going to.
What does it look like it's made out of? Is it stone or iron?
Just stone. We'll go with the same stone as kind of like most of the stone of these walls, and like the stone of that archway. It just seems like stone.
Maybe if we walk around the edge up here. Then if we're behind it, maybe it won't realize that we're going this way.
All right.
Dropped another picture inside of Discord there. So you guys are like trying to fake right, go left.
Yeah, I'm thinking if it's like set to guard and stop anybody from going down here, if it doesn't see us going down here, maybe it won't come to life. I mean, there was definitely a warning about things that could maul, and that certainly looks like one of them things.
Should we keep to the side that has one of the hands chopped off? So if it does attack, it's only one instead of two.
So it's the right side. It would be like the northern side that has like one of the four hands.
Did you still want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Either way.
Step behind it. Nothing happened. I think both of you have dark vision, so regardless, once the light kind of gets there, you see that the corridor kind of goes south for about 10 feet before it kind of turns and goes to the east. And then as you round the corner, you see that the hall continues for about another 20 feet before there is a stone wall in front of you.
I'll whisper. I'll search the south wall. You search the north wall. I'll point
All
like
right.
over here.
Sounds like a plan.
So one's doing south, one's doing the north wall.
Yeah.
Yep, I think I'm gonna do the north.
Yeah, so as you guys kind of just move up, just like hands on the wall, feels like normal stone, relatively smooth. There's a little bit of kind of like grittiness to it. And assuming you just kind of continue on down the hallway, eventually you're going to get to the point where you're just like right between the wall to the east of you. You've run your hand along the wall all the way across the north and or the south, and basically see there's wall all along that area.
All right, let me take a look at this wall.
Which
If
one?
it's
This
a
one?
false wall or yeah.
What are you doing?
So this just looks like so first like a visual inspection, does it look like a just a blank wall? Do I see any
Roll a perception. Looks like all of the other stone walls, like in this whole area. On closer inspection, you see almost like a shimmer to it, almost like a gold light beyond it. you're pretty sure you could probably reach through it.
All right, so I'll relay that to Satyr, and I'll kind of like with my hand kind of held out in front of me, I'll sort of try to move through it.
Very seamlessly push through. And on the other side, there's like a little gold orb that's kind of floating right on the opposite side of this little hallway. And as you look around, you see a blue orb across the hall about 20 feet away from you, an orange orb about 10 feet to the south of you, and a silver orb, yeah, about 20 feet, like kind of southeast of you. And you see that this hall continues on. Let's see, you guys. I don't know if you can pick these up. I feel like on some level you guys can see that there is a continuance of this hall for many feet before like the darkness kind of overwhelms what you're able to see in gray. Um, and I think you can see that this whole hall is filled with orbs, but most of what you can see, you can't see the colors of. And I think you can see a door sill, like a door, a stone archway, kind of directly south of you, just south of the orange orb, and before you reach like the kind of dark gray, almost black orb that's to the south of it.
Okay, well, we've got three of the colors that we saw earlier: yellow, blue, then orange, which forms like again a left to right sort of pattern.
Yeah, my bad. You guys would also see that there's pretty similar yellow and green mosaics across the stonework of this room. The stone in this room is the same as that entrance hallway where all of those little cubes are made up of like kind of 2 by 2 little colored stones. Most of them are kind of like an ochre orange, but there's clearly like a line of yellow and green throughout this area.
Sorry, and you said that we saw a doorway in which direction? Sorry.
It's just south of the orange sphere. So you can kind of see at that point that it's like 10 feet south of you.
Okay. I'm going to start trying to make my way down that way slowly, keeping an eye on this orb as I to my south as I walk towards it. And I'll try and keep going, still trying to stay off the green if I can.
Gotcha. So as you progress forward past the doorway, you see that there's like a purple orb at your feet, another door a little bit south of it. You see across the hallway another green orb kind of just overhead, and then a yellow orb south of it that's about shoulder height. And then another doorway. Did I already say the other doorway? Well, there's another doorway about 10 feet south of the purple orb. The purple one is at your feet. Orange is waist high.
This white line, is this anything?
There's just wall over there, just stone.
Okay. Currently don't have anywhere to put these orbs. Don't know what to do with them yet.
Yeah, I'm leery of touching this one at my feet. Try moving south. Hopefully, maybe see if I can get a peek around this next doorway.
Think you'll start to see a pink orb that's about head high. Back on your side, there's a bronze orb about waist high, and then just south of it is a gray orb about shoulder height. And then, kind of in between those two on the opposite wall, you'll see a black orb at about feet height. And I think you're probably starting to see the semblance of the end of this hallway inside of your gray vision. And you see that there's probably another like 6 or 8 orbs to the south of you. More of them are light than dark.
Imagine there's some sort of trick with these different colored orbs, but
We've got 2 doors here that we can try.
what do these doors look like?
There's stone archways with like a stone door, and there's just a kind of like central handle inside of it, almost like a hobbit's door, where you can just, if you'd like, pull at the handle and open up.
Can we check it for traps first?
You can roll an investigation. Looking over there, you don't see any sort of mechanisms attached to the door. There doesn't seem to be any tension on the handle. Doesn't seem to be trapped.
So Chris will kind of nod towards Seder and like, I guess we should I'm gonna try to open it.
Shall I open this door and you open the one down there?
Let's see what's behind door number 1 first.
Okay, I'll cautiously open door number 1.
As you cautiously open the door and start to like peek inside to try to see what you can see with the lights, your face is going to get impaled by a spear, like right through your cheek, and you are going to take 12 piercing damage, and you've got a new piercing.
Ouch.
Yeesh. Are you all right?
Never been better. Your turn. And like point at the other door.
I'm starting to rethink our strategy.
Part of the problem with push to talk is you can't hear me geeking out as he says your turn.
I just took a spear to the face. Now it's your turn.
There's not even an explanation of what's inside of there. It is quite literally just a spear. So even with light, I don't think you're gonna see anything. I feel like it's one of those things where it's almost like out of just like this mystical darkness, a spear is just going to almost like form as it's already piercing through your face.
Hmm. I'm gonna start back down. I'd like to see maybe if we just
I just posted another picture to the Discord. I feel like that's a cool take on it, and I'm not sure if I missed it. It's part of the joys of running modules multiple times. But I like how like each of those, there's almost like a demonic creature that is holding the sphere. And I feel like that's what I said. That's what I'm saying. Like when I say I don't know if I missed it, but I kind of like how that's done.
yeah, so okay, so you gave us kind of like heights. So like some are holding it at like waist height, some are at eye level, some are more at like the at our feet.
Yeah, I actually see it now. It's like on the previous page where it just describes it as the walls and ceilings are painted with figures of animals, strange signs and glyphs, and humans and human like creatures posing with spheres of different colors. These globes are two dimensional, of course. Yeah, my bad. That's the problem of like trying to describe stuff and actually trying to read stuff. I almost never read from a module.
Okay, so they're not three-dimensional orbs. They're like painted on along with the paintings.
Yeah, but like on some level, you guys also already understand. You've basically come through one of these already. Um, so like once you like walk through and you're inside of this room, that's just a gold orb on your like in that picture. You guys can see there's a character like in that bottom right of that picture. Um, yeah, see, I feel like that door isn't even. I shouldn't even use that as an example because I don't think that door is there. Um, you guys basically are walking through an illusion that there is a wall there with that gold orb like painted on it.
Okay. Okay.
So, on some semblance, and especially having already pulled open one of these doors, you guys might have the reason to recognize that perhaps you are not looking for a door out of this corridor. You are looking for one of these orbs that you can kind of walk through.
Right. Right.
Maybe it's the black one. What was the thing? Knight's good color is for those of great valor.
Yes. Do you think night's good color would for the black, or perhaps like the silver of the moon or something?
Definitely black for me.
Guess I never thought of black as a good color, but
It would be good
uh,
for night, though.
that's true. Yeah. All right. I'll and Chris will, since Sater just took a spear, Chris will volunteer to be the guinea pig on this one. He will start kind of making his way over towards the black sphere.
So, with assuming you're already moving with trepidation, let me get a perception check from you as you move up to it. And again, it's perception and investigation that you have advantage on, right?
Let me double check. Yes, perception or investigation.
So, let's say you kind of step over to this, and it seems like some sort of demonic creature is almost like stepping on top of this orb. And as you kind of like kneel down and try to take a closer look at it, it just seems like a black part of the wall. It's not like where you could almost see the gold on the other side of the illusion from that wall that you walked through before.
Hmm. It looks different than the one we came through. Perhaps if we check the others, we might see something that tips us off. And if not, we can come back to this one.
Yeah, we can go back up if you want. What's? Oh, hang on.
My
There's
bad.
one.
So at this point, you guys can indeed see to the end of the hallway, and you see that there's a little corridor at the south side, kind of similar to how the Green Skull had its own little space offset beyond the hallway. You see like a pink orb close to you, or I guess pale violet, held at like the shoulder. And then a bright blue one in like the southwest there. That's again at a creature's feet. And then you see from this point, you can see that there's 7 more orbs. 3 of them are dark, and 4 of them are lighter in color. And then you can see at the end of the hall, there's another little corridor that's maybe 10 or so feet.
Should we see what other colors there are? Maybe something will jump out at us in a good way, not in a.
Yeah, so at this point, you guys can kind of like look around where you've got light and where you've been, and there's about 20 orbs inside of this corridor.
Yeah, we're heading further south.
Yeah, I just want to see if there's any other colors that might, I don't know, make sense with this. I don't want to call it a poem, but
There was something in the thing about red. Red stands for blood. Okay, so probably don't touch that one.
the wise will not need sacrifice aught but a loop of magical metal. Maybe that's referring to like a magic ring or something like that.
So just description wise, you guys can like continue to move on and like explore this corridor. The south end of this again has like another archway that's filled with mist in on the south there. And then just kind of like north to or south to north, you've got a pale green orb on the southwest, a indigo orb, purple kind of held over its head, scarlet red held waist high, turquoise closer, which is held at the shoulders, and then you've got buff at a feet. That seems like a yellow. I'm not sure how buff is a color. And then white and red are kind of on the sides of each other. And I think that finishes. Oh, my bad. The white is held high overhead, and the red is waist high. So that gives you like a rough all of them. If you end up wondering how high something is, just let me know.
So I think Chris is going to. So I'm thinking maybe this night's good color is referring to the moon. He's gonna try and he's gonna move to take a closer look at this white one down to his south west, and kind of see if he sees anything similar to what he saw in like the gold with any kind of like you can make out anything light or something like that shining like from behind this orb or thing
Do
within
another
the white.
perception. So just kind of like held overhead of what looks to be like a succubus, with her wings like outstretched in this orb over her head. It almost looks like she's kind of clawing down at the sun. No, doesn't seem to be anything other than just like an orb held over her head.
Hmm. Sader, any ideas?
I'm just trying to pay attention to the colors. Um, maybe we need to look at the creatures more. Is there a clue with the creatures that are holding these orbs?
Oh, and I keep thinking of like the color of our moon, but I guess are we in on Toral? Do they have different colored moons?
I think the only moon for Toril is going to be Saloon. So I don't think there's any reason to assume that there's multiple colored rooms or moons. Um, I think as far as things go, we can certainly set this on any world you could possibly imagine. So we don't even have to limit this to Toro, and that's just kind of as far as time wise. I would also say that while in the future I can do a better job of preparing the creatures now that I see that line at all, the creatures have nothing to do with this because it tells me nothing about what the creatures are.
Okay, and I imagine the color of the moon doesn't matter either. Um, I mean, this might not even be referring to night's good color.
I would say on some level, part of what you guys are thinking of is the fact that this place is a mind fuck, and that's what it's supposed to do. You are overthinking, perhaps. You've just gone from black to white, trying to figure out what is night's good color. So one of those is like basically we talking like 7 times a negative or 8 times a negative to try to get you. Well, if they're thinking this, I'm going to do that. But if they're thinking this, I should do that because they're thinking this because they know that I'm thinking that. Um, so on some level, that's kind of where you guys are at with that.
Hmm. Maybe we should see if there's anything down here at the south of this, like maybe another corridor.
Yeah, if you want.
So I'll start moving down south.
I might just walk from one end of the room to the other to see if there are any more illusions.
What are you thinking when you say you're going to walk end to end?
Well, I mean, I'm going to walk over to this corner. I'm going to see what.
Wait. This never helps me. I assume that I am never paying attention to where you guys are at. Southeast? Gotcha.
Yep. I'll wait for Chrisira to look at whatever they're looking at, and then I'm going to walk with my scimitar, not my scimitar, my short sword on the wall, and just run it along the wall. And I will head in a straight line until I reach the northeast corner, assuming that if there are any illusions, that my blade will cut through them.
How high are you placing the blade on the wall?
At a comfortable height, so probably somewhere between hip and shoulder.
And so, like 2.5 feet above the ground?
Yeah, although now I think about it, maybe I should run this blade over the orbs just to see if that does anything.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, and I hope I don't die.
And then, Chrisira, you're walking up to that archway.
Yeah, you said there's like kind of like similar. There's mists. I guess I'll try and see if there's anything on the if I can see anything through them.
No, you cannot. I reveal too much for what it's worth. But as you walk up to that archway, are you going to step up to the archway?
I mean, I'm not gonna step. I don't want to step through it, but I'll step close to probably within, like I guess there.
So, same thing's going to happen. You are walking up to an archway clouded with mist. When you step up within arm's reach of the archway, you're going to see as 3 stones light up. To the southeast of you, your left, you're going to see it's kind of an olive hue. The northern, like the one that is the keystone, is the center one. It's kind of a citron. I think that's like a green yellow. And then, wait, no, my bad. Psych. So, olive hue is your left. Citron is to your right. And then the keystone is a russet. So I think it's 2 shades of green and then almost like a reddish kind of rust.
Oh, last time it was left to right, right?
So while you're kind of going over things and Seder starts to walk down the wall, drags his sword along the wall, reaches up over his head to try to reach for a purple, and it's kind of out of his reach where he can just get it in there. So he has to kind of jump and taps the wall. Starts to continue to like walk along, just kind of like rubbing his sword against the stone. Nothing really happens. What combination are you trying?
So I feel like it was left to right the last time. I'm gonna try right to left. So I guess that would be citron, russet, olive green.
Yeah, so as you hit the citron, russet, olive, nothing happens.
And I'm gonna try and reverse it. Do left to right.
Nothing's gonna happen. And Seder just kind of continues to like screech along with his sword against the stonework. raising it above down to the ground at the buff and across the like yellow green. Nothing happens. And then as he comes to the red one, there's nothing there. Probably about like shoulder height for you. But that creature is holding it like almost against its hip.
Did you find something?
Nope, not yet.
When you say there's nothing there, you mean like his sword seems to pass through the wall, or?
Yeah, I definitely think Thomas took me there. Like when you are dragging your sword against the stone, when you get to the red one, there's nothing there. Like your sword goes through. It's no longer touching stone.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did find something. But it's red, and red is the color of blood. So I want to investigate it more, but I also don't.
No, he didn't. I didn't have any luck with the archway. I suppose we could try other combinations, but
What colors were on the archway, and do they correspond to the colors of any of these orbs?
um, good
I think you
question.
could like almost pull like a correspondence in like greens and reds, but color wise they're not the same colors. It's more like how much do you want to read into like is a green, is a red.
I want to carry on going north. Uh, I'm curious about the black one again. I think I've investigated it once before and it didn't yield any results, but I'm not sure if I actually like touched it, my sword.
I did not have you investigate it.
Yeah, I think I was the one. I looked at the black and I didn't see anything.
Yeah, let's go up to the. I'll carry on. I'm not expecting anything to come from this pink one, but I'm expecting
And nothing
something
does.
from the
But you
black.
drag it along the stone. There's still that slow screech. And then as you get to the black down at your feet, you draw it across. And the exact same thing as with the red. As you start to get to the black orb, the sound stops. There's nothing impeding your sword.
Yeah, so what does exactly it say again about the knight's great color?
Yeah, knight's good color is for those of great valor.
Yeah. Uh, I think this is the way. Like, if we're taking these clues to be accurate and not just trying to get us killed, then red is for blood and this is for great valor.
If you're still checking it in Discord, I just pinned that message as well, so it's easier to like instantly go to.
Uh, yeah, I mean, that sounds logical to me.
Are you planning on carrying this on at some point? Because
Oh yeah, it's late for you, isn't it?
yeah, I kind of want to get going because it's a little bit after midnight now.
Oh
And
yeah, don't stay on just on my account. Yeah.
this might be a good like cliffhanger because I'm probably gonna walk. I'm definitely gonna walk through this illusion.
Yeah, so as far as things go, this is a relatively legitimate time to stop indeed. I think what will kind of take you to um I don't even think you necessarily need to go through this actual crawlway, but yeah, when you walk through the illusion, there is indeed a crawlway that extends down. Um I think for what it's worth just letting you guys basically move forward and pass the crawlway. This is one thing I've never actually intended to actually map out when I run it online. So you can just basically move like directly past it, because there's certain things I feel like it's like 100+ feet of movement in like swirls and stuff, and I think it's meant to fuck with you, but in the long run, I feel like that's just like a waste of time when you're actually like a real human being. But effectively, when you guys pop out of that, you're going to see that there is a stone path in red that kind of like winds in front of you and starts to turn to the west. And there's just a chapel ahead of you. 4 rows of pews, like 4 rows of pews south of you, and 2 rows, and there's 2 columns of them. So there's another set of pews of 4 of them that are on the west side of this room. And this like red pathway of stones like turns to the west in front of you at your feet, and then it turns down the center of the pews, and it's going to lead up to the central dais that you will see. I think there's a stone altar and then a hemispherical dais that is just beyond it on the south wall. And then I think there is a stone. I think that's a throne on the south end. Oh wait, you guys, yeah, you guys can vaguely see that stuff with your night vision. But I think that's about 20 feet in front of you where you vaguely see.